Man, the Steam Deck is so cool. I wish I could play PC games on my couch, or in bed, or in the tub. I'm just stuck with my phone, playing stupid mobile games with a dumb touchscreen. Ah! What the? Where the hell did that come from? Hello, hi there, how you doing? I'm TechDweeb, welcome. Thanks for clicking on the video today. So here's the thing. You already own an amazing portable gaming device. No, I'm not trying to say that there's a Steam Deck hidden somewhere in your house that you didn't know about. That might be true. I can't guarantee that it's not. But finish watching this video before you go looking for it, because you might not even care about things like Steam Decks or the hidden stash of candy that your dad keeps in the bathroom cabinet after you hear what I have to say. The amazing portable gaming device that I'm talking about is likely within arm's reach. Heck, you're probably watching this video on it right now. It's your phone. What's that? You already guessed that I was gonna say your phone? Oh, well, aren't you clever? Maybe you should make this video then if you think you're so smart. Go ahead, I'm waiting. No? Should I go on? I should. Alright then, sit down, shut up, and listen. Because I'm telling you that your phone might be the best freaking gaming device that you could ever hope for. It has the guts to play Android games, it can handle all your old retro games, but more importantly, with PC streaming, you can get a Steam Deck experience. Even better than a Steam Deck, actually. But TechDweeb, you say, I don't like playing games on my phone because I like physical controls. Well, to that I'd say, but you can use a controller with your phone. And then you'd probably say, but I don't like cheap Bluetooth controllers because it's annoying to play with my phone like propped on the desk and because of the latency. And then I'd say, okay, but what about a good controller that doesn't have latency? And then you'll say, what, you mean like some sort of clip for my Xbox One controller so that I could turn it into a Frankenstein handheld gaming console like some kind of freak? And then I'd say, no, there are way more comfortable ways to game on your phone than that. And then you'd say, what, those telescopic controllers? I already had one of those and it's alright, but not great. It's kind of cheap and it doesn't have good thumbsticks or analog triggers and it's still just Bluetooth with a bunch of latency. And then I'd say, well, what about this? The Gamesir X2 PRO. It's freaking awesome, if we're gonna believe the words of the manufacturer. Look, it says here right on the box, gaming is winning. Which is so true. You know, you can't win if you don't game. And even if you lose the games because you suck at games, like me, you still win. Because gaming is winning. One look at the website for this thing will tell you that Gamesir is really leading into the idea of cloud gaming and streaming. This thing is actually an officially licensed Xbox product. From the branding to the free included 1 month of Xbox Game Pass, and even the device itself has an Xbox button. The X2 Pro is telescopic, so it'll fit a wide variety of phones. And I emphasize wide because this thing stretches out freaking huge. There is a USB-C jack here that your phone slots into, and it's on a swivel so that it should work well with a variety of phone shapes and sizes. The controller itself has a great feel to it, with some really premium touches. The thumbsticks are Alps 3D joysticks, and they're super smooth to use. They feel awesome. The buttons are high quality, convex, glossy plastic with Kale switches underneath, so they have a definitive click to them with very little travel. Because of that, they feel super reactive to your touch. Same story with the D-pad. The star of the show is the triggers. This has Hall effect triggers, which means that the sensors inside use magnets instead of physical lever sensors. So not only do we get full analog joysticks for both gaming and game streaming, we are actually getting an analog trigger experience that rivals most controllers and devices out there. I've been using this for a few days now, and I can say with confidence that the quality of the components here makes this thing feel like it's punching way above its weight. $80 is the MSRP, but you can get it for $70 at the link in the description. At that price, it's a very compelling value considering the quality. The ergonomics are good. It has some slight grip humps that help it sit in the palms of your hand. There are rubber pads right where your fingers naturally rest, and it helps make it feel solid in your hands. And also down there in the grips are some neat little hidden paddle switches, which you can customize. We also have a pass-through charging USB-C port on the bottom right so that you can charge your phone while you're gaming. gaming without interruption. Before we get into the Steam Deck stuff, let me show you quickly how it works locally on the device itself. Once you lock it in, it will be detected as a physical X-input game controller, and it's basically plug and play. You could use the controller to navigate your device itself, if you're into that sort of thing. Any Android game that allows for physical controls will work right away with this thing. For example, here in Streets of Rage 4, it just works. No setup needed. I'm telling you, I wasn't expecting much when I went to go test this thing, but once I started playing this game, I instantly understood that this is more than a makeshift janky gaming experience. This is freaking premium. My phone is an S10 Plus. It's old, it's not expensive, or super fancy by today's standards, but even an old phone like this has a display that rivals pretty much all of my retro handhelds. Lots of games will stretch right out and fill the screen too. Like this one, Horizon Chase. It's like gaming on an ultra-wide screen, in your hands. And then there are games that don't allow for physical controls, or at least only very specific controllers, like this one, Call of Duty Mobile. It only supports a few specific controllers, and this isn't one of them. And that's where the Gamesir software comes in. If you install the Gamesir app and take the time to set it up to allow dev access, you can use the Gamesir screen mapper to set up physical controls as the touchscreen controls. Once you set up the app, you can launch the game through the app, and you can enable V-Touch mode, which puts a little widget on your screen allowing you to map the controls of the device to the screen. But here's the thing, Call of Duty had a community config that was automatically selected and it just worked right away. It didn't require any setup. But if you do want to set it up yourself, if you need to do that for a specific game, it's super easy to do. You just tap the little widget and drag the controls to where you want them mapped on the screen, and then push the button that you want it mapped to. Easy stuff. It's a night and day difference playing mobile games like this using a controller instead of the touchscreen. You know, I didn't care about Call of Duty Mobile at all before, but as soon as I tested it on this controller, I was instantly having a blast. And I played like a dozen matches now. I actually had to stop myself from playing too much as I was doing testing and writing this review.
We're capturing C. Enemy in sight. Tango down. Predator missile on standby.
But TechDweeb, you say, this video is supposed to be about how I could get a Steam Deck experience for cheap. Why are you talking about Android crap? To that I would say, well, there's no need to be rude. I was just about to get to that. And then you'd say, oh, okay, sorry for being impatient. And I'd say, that's okay, buddy. I know you're just excited. And you should be excited because we can use an app that you probably already knew about called Steam Link to allow us to stream our PC Steam gaming experience to our phone using the PC that you already have, if you have one, of course. And I went into this little experiment not expecting much. You know, I tried this exact thing a few years ago and I hated it. I don't know if it's because Steam Link has improved over the years or because of the recent changes to big picture mode or because I'm on a better phone now, but I was freaking blown away at how great it is to use your phone with a controller like this as a portable PC gaming device. It feels like I'm playing games locally, right down to the big picture UI that ties the whole experience together. I can browse my Steam game library, go into the settings, launch my games, and they start up and play, and it's hard to even tell that I'm not gaming on this actual device. It feels like a Steam Deck for all intents and purposes. Like a little mini Steam Deck that admittedly only works as a Steam Deck when I'm in my house, and only because I have an actual gaming PC to link it to. But for $70 to get a perfect Steam experience like this with an actual good controller, that's pretty freaking awesome. But here's the best part for me. This is what sets this setup apart from using my RP3 Plus, for instance, as a streaming device, which I was a big fan of. I did quite a bit of PC streaming with that thing, but it has its downsides. It's only a 720p display, more or less. The controls are good for a retro handheld, but not as good for actual PC gaming. But the reason that this new setup is way better is that my phone isn't a tiny little 16:9 ratio 720p display. My S10 Plus is a 1440 by 3040 pixel display at a 19:9 aspect ratio. It's more or less ultra wide. which means that this is like an ultra-wide Steam Deck. You guys know that I use an ultra-wide monitor for my main gaming rig. Well, when I use Steam Link to stream my PC, I get my full Steam library in big picture mode at the ultra-wide ratio. So I can play Shadow of the Tomb Raider or Doom Eternal, and it fills up the whole wide screen of my phone, more or less. My gaming monitor is 21 by 9 compared to my phone, which is 19 by 9, so I do lose a tiny bit of pixels at the top and bottom, but I'd way rather do it like this than to crop it in at the sides and play at 16 by 9. But even then, you know, I have some games that don't support ultra-wide, and they look and play beautifully here. Even the arcadey games that require really fast twitch reflexes, they feel fully responsive. I can't notice any considerable latency. I'm sure there is some, but it's not so much that it gets in my way at all. I don't even notice it. I've had lots of people try to talk me into getting a Steam Deck, and I would love one. But as much as I'd love to have one, it's hard for me to justify buying one, considering the experience that I have with something like this. I don't leave my mom's basement very often, much less the house itself. And when I do, I don't mind grabbing a retro handheld to play on the go. Or this thing. I haven't even talked about that yet. Retro games are great on a setup like this. You guys probably know that if you have an Android phone, you already have a great retro device too. Install yourself a front-end launcher like Daijisho or Dig, my favorite front-end. Install Retroarch, install Dolphin, whatever emulators you want. And if you have a decent phone, then you've got yourself an amazing retro game console that's probably more powerful than any cheapo retro gaming console you could get. With actually good controls, a great D-pad, great buttons, amazing thumbsticks and triggers, comfortable grips, and probably the best screen of any gaming device that you could get. You know, play your Game Boy Advance or Super NES or PS1 or GameCube or PS2 games locally, and they look amazing. Or stream your retro games from your gaming PC. If you have Dolphin or Yuzu installed, just freaking stream those. No need to run them locally if you have a PC that can run them. You can set up any non-Steam game to work in Steam just by adding a custom game to Steam. Look at this. I'm streaming the Semu emulator, Zelda Wild Breath, with an ultra-wide graphics patch. Ultra-wide Zelda Wild Breath. Come on, how cool is this? You can't do this on a Steam Deck. Yeah, you'll need a gaming PC, and yeah, you can only do this while you're at your house within your Wi-Fi range. It's not a Steam Deck, but if you're like me, if you're in the circumstance where you have a retro handheld to play games away from the home, and you have a decent phone, and you have a decent gaming PC, and you still want a Steam Deck to play PC games on your couch or in your bed or in your tent in your backyard that you're sleeping in tonight because you got in a fight with your mom about how much you're spending on root beer each week, even though it's your allowance and you should be able to spend it however you want, a setup like this is better than a Steam Deck in many, many ways. The Gamesir X2 PRO has an $80 MSRP, but I got this review unit sent to me from geekbuying.com, and you can grab it there for $70. I'll include a link in the description below if you want to pick one up. And that brings us to the end. So, what do you guys think of this setup? Are you a Steam Deck purist? Are you a fan of PC streaming? Do you have a controller like this? Or this exact controller? The Gamesir X2 PRO? What do you think of it? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're down there, click the thumbs up button if you liked the video, or don't if you didn't. I don't care. I'm not gonna beg you for your likes or anything. I will beg you to click the subscribe button though. I'm not above doing that. So, pretty please, with a cherry on top, just click the freaking subscribe button. Come on now. That's it from me. I'm TechDweeb. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.